see notes, bank. We see notes.
Gotta see. Gotta see.
Alright. Big six.
I feel like it's been a while since we've been back for this series of keeping up with the OKC Thunder, mostly because not much has happened, and the Thunder went on this weird 5-game losing streak, and I definitely did not want to talk about that because I already said before, either they pivot and keep trying to win, or they tank, and I just kind of assumed they were going to tank it out, and we were going to get to some point where I would start kind of pivoting my expectations for the season and going just strictly into the draft and who I think would be a great prospect for the team of the already solidified young core. I like to keep my OKC jerseys back here as a set piece. So this is the new one that came in because he's officially number 2 on the Kia Rookie of the Year race. He has jumped up crazy. He went from, it seemed like he kept plateauing at 5 for a minute, and yeah, if he went from plateauing at 5 to consistently just being 3, and now he's at 2 with, I believe, let me find the numbers here because I quote these type of things all the time. If I'm gonna find these numbers, it is the numbers are here. It is. I will find it. Okay. Since the All-Star break, Jalen Williams is averaging 21.3 points per game, 4.9 rebounds a game, 4.9 assists a game, 2.1 steals on 59, 50, and 79 shooting splits. A lot of that has to do with, I think the one thing that we all could assume, not only just assume, but also agree on, is the fact that Paolo is definitely by far advanced in compare to pretty much anyone in the Rookie of the Year race. But the one thing that kind of stood out to us, and now we're knowing that, hey, this guy is actually legit and not just some piece, is I pay most attention when I do not know why there's blur. I like to pay most attention to this team when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is off the floor, because that gives us a good look of what do we really have here when he's not carrying or putting up some historical usage rate or crazy numbers. What can his team do? Because Shai has been more consistent this year. Whenever he had trash games, oh my God, the team looked so bad last season. Now he doesn't necessarily have to do that. He's going to do it because he's that guy, and he's a superstar. I don't care at all. He's a superstar, and we know how great he is. We know what he brings in, the gravity, how he pieces everything together as being the franchise player. I want to see what everybody else can really do. And Jalen Williams has been, my God, he has been amazing. He has been phenomenal. And as you realize, oh, this guy's not just an efficient glue guy. He could really play make. He could score. He's gotten better on defense. He could do so many crazy things. And it's to the point where if he were to never progress past what he is now, he is still going to have a very long NBA career. That's how great he's been. I think what's next that I think about for, I guess, this team as a whole is not next to the team. I am freestyling off top. So I guess let's just kind of get into it. The Thunder were sliding in the standings, of course, with that 5-game losing streak coming from the All-Star break. It dealt a lot with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander having an ankle sprain, ankle pain, abdominal strain, and he caught COVID. So he missed, I believe, 5 games. And they came with the whole, we roll our eyes at the, oh, it's time to tank, it's time to do this and that. The Thunder are tanking. I know. We've heard it years before. And when people were asking what's going to happen, I said, I don't know, because he could easily just sit the rest of the season because I think we have less than 20 games to play. And they could easily see that, hey, let's just shut him down like we've done previous times when he has gotten hurt. And the expectation is, hey, what can we do? I've always said, truthfully, I don't know. I think the play-in is always still kind of at play in that mix. And with the Thunder going on a 3-game winning streak, of course, like it's going to be in the title. They beat the Jazz. They beat the Jazz 2 times in a row. Then they beat the Warriors. And now, tonight as it's being recorded, they're playing the Suns. I honestly think it's going to be an ass whooping. So that 3-game win streak is going to be snapped. But by the chance they do somehow win it, we'll really be in the mix to be at 10. The one thing that was kind of on the mind is what's going to happen next. And one of the biggest things that we came to find out, people try to turn it into a tanking tweet. No, he's battling through an injury. And they're going to really like monitor his minutes and keep him from playing back-to-backs, pretty much like rest or load management, so he can still play out the rest of the season. And in my mind, that's like, oh, these guys are trying to compete. They're going to try their best to make the play-in. And I've said this many times. I understand tanking is necessary for markets like OKC, but I said we can't expect that big leap to where this team somehow wins 50 games next season and not at least see what happens this season as far. Wow. It sees like what happens as far as playing it out goes. Yeah, that's kind of yeah, just kind of see where it goes when you just kind of play it out. And they're kind of showing us that's exactly what they're going to do because they're still really going for it. And I just hope they do play it all the way through because I would like to see them get my prediction of at least 33 wins. I somewhere had around 33 to 36 wins this season. I hope they just see it through because we already have a top pick from last year's draft coming back this year. And also we have whoever we're going to pick this year and assets to trade up if maybe. We have a solid core to do what we're going to do. And as from the showings of against the Jazz, twice, by the way, even though the Jazz are sliding in the standings a lot, the West is so interesting to the fact that the Jazz are always kind of in a play-in mix, and now they are 13th seed and looking to add a top 10 pick, which, oh my God, that's going to be a top 10 pick in Lord Marketing. That's going to be fire. And looking at how they're displayed against the Warriors, the whole Warriors squad was healthy, and they were in control of it pretty much the entire game. That's with Steph hitting 10 threes and dropping 40. These guys still play hard. They know what they're doing. They have a lot of hustle and effort, and I am very proud to be a fan of these guys. So we'll see what happens next. And I feel like we've been saying all season, this next stretch of games will show us what's going to happen, what's going to do this. We've said this all season. This team is kind of fun. They're a fun team to watch. I guess for schedule, up until the next time I record, it will be a 4-game stretch of the Suns, the Pelicans, the Spurs, and the Nets. I think an automatic L is going to be the Suns. The Pelicans are very beatable now because Zion doesn't really have a timetable of return. The Spurs are terrible, and the Nets are okay. They've been sliding a little bit, but they're still a good team that I'm not excited to see. I'm definitely not excited to see the Nets because they have something. They're a 6 seed. Like they slid, but they're still winning. It's gonna be an interesting stretch of games. I would hope we can walk away 3-1, realistically 2-2. If we stay in that mix, I'm down for whatever. Until it's shown that we're not in the mix anymore, let's go for it. So that's what's happening this time. You'll catch me around for an update of next week and what's going to happen. This is Ivy No Carter. Follow me on Twitter. I have another show called Anonymous Sources Podcast. We just dropped an episode today about the post, kind of a recap of what happened post-trade deadline. I know it's been a month. We wanted to feel out and see what was going on before we decided to come back. And this is going to be what happens at that point. So you guys all take care.